You mentioned intuition a while ago, and I think that's an important one to chat about as well, because sometimes it can be really hard to tell the difference between something that you're aligned with, that you really do want to do, or that would be good for you, versus something that is difficult and maybe not aligned for you, because they both feel quite similar. They can feel quite
Yeah.
similar. And if you're struggling with the execution of something or following through on something, it you can find your at least I can find myself going back and forth, like, am I feeling this way because it's not aligned for me, or am I feeling this way because it is aligned for me? Because it could be triggering in a way that tells you this is a growth opportunity for me, or it could be something that goes against my values, which is really a distraction or something that I
Mhm.
shouldn't be paying attention to. So do you have any advice for someone who finds themselves in that place often?
Definitely. Yeah. And I've heard different people talk about this using different language. And so I think on some level, it comes down to experimenting and figuring it out because it really is, intuition is like a felt bodily experience. And so you kind of have to figure out your own patterns around it. But I'll offer a specific example. When I was starting with my spiritual business, I started focusing on astrology. And so I wanted to post reels on Instagram. And so videos of my face talking to the camera. And I saw other astrologers doing it. So I felt like there was a certain way it was supposed to be. I was trying to fit a lot of information into it so I would sound smart and hated it. I would it would take me an hour to shoot a 90-second video and I'd be like, I look terrible and blah, 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 and I don't like doing this. And so that was my question, like, is this not aligned for me to be putting myself out that way? Or is this just uncomfortable because it's new? And what I've come down to with that example and with other ones is that I try to tease out, is it uncomfortable because it's bringing up fear or judgment to myself, or is it uncomfortable because it doesn't feel authentic?
Mm,
There's just a lot of nuance there, but if I see that there's fear, like with that one especially, it was fear that I'm not going to get likes on it, or that my old friends aren't gonna or they're gonna think that it's like cringe or something like that. So, because that one, I could see that it was bringing up fear, then it was like, okay, let me just keep easing into it and see if I can get more comfortable with it. And then, at some point, I mean, I do video reels from time to time, but I would say, like, in the long term, it's not like a big part of my promotional strategy. I'm a writer. I like long form writing. I like newsletters. So I would say, like, long term, like, it kind of eventually did fall away, but it was still kind of like I said, it's just like a good exercise to face the things that are fears. And sometimes that's the only way to your original question, to figure out, is this my intuition or is this resistance? The only way
mm,
really is to take an action one way or the other and then to
yeah,
see. And so get comfortable with
yeah.
being like, maybe I'll decide that I was wrong, but at least I will know. At least I'll have some new data coming in.
I love that. Yeah, I definitely have had a similar mentality about these things. Is if I feel fear around something, I don't let fear stop me from doing the thing. Like, I make a very conscious effort to not let fear be the reason why I don't take the step or don't do the thing.
Yeah.
If there are other reasons, I definitely consider those reasons, but if it's fear, then I'm like, well, that's just not a good enough reason for me.
Yeah.
And I think that, like you said, it's when we take the action, it's when we start doing the thing, then we get more information, more feedback, either positive or negative feedback that says, actually, I do quite like this. Now that the fear is gone, I enjoy it. I feel more empowered. I feel like I've grown. I feel like I can achieve my mission in a new way or something. Or there's negative feedback like, this doesn't feel like me. I think I was only doing this because someone else was doing this, or someone told me to do this, or I was logicking my way into doing it, but it doesn't feel right. And so it's kind of those phases that we have to look out for. The initial phase of, does it feel inauthentic or does it feel fearful? And then the next phase is, let me receive this new information, this feedback, to see if this is feeling like it's helping me grow and feel more confident, more empowered, or if it's making me feel like drained or distracted or out of alignment with myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that feeling
Mhm.
of energy drain is really important to start to tune into because that can be really revealing in terms of like, do these activities fuel my energy or do they take away from it?